What is up, guys? It is Bad Dog. I'm going to drop this video and then I'm going to sleep. I'm actually going to get some sleep tonight. So sorry that I couldn't finish the Yankee game earlier today. Seemed like I had a pretty good crowd in there, and I'm excited about going forward even though we lost today. I'll do a video about the series tomorrow. But I just wanted to do a video. This isn't breaking news. This actually was an article a few hours ago. But I just read the Giants will not hesitate to extend Eli Manning into 2020. And personally, I don't know what the hell they keep hanging on to Eli Manning for. I don't understand why they constantly think that somehow he's going to find the fountain of youth and all of a sudden revert back to 2011 Eli Manning. We are in 2019. We're going into 2019, and this man is going to be 38 years old. And obviously he's got a lot of miles on his arm. And anybody that's watched him play knows that he certainly has missed a lot of throws and he has not played great. And people can equate it to the offensive line. They can equate it to whatever they want. But the fact of the matter is the Giants aren't winning with him. And sometimes you got to take a shot and get a young quarterback in here. I don't care if it's Josh Rosen. At this point, I don't care if it's Dwayne Haskins. I don't care if it's Kyler Murray. I don't care what they do. But them suggesting that they're going to extend this guy into 2020 tells me they're not even looking at a quarterback this year. All the talk about Dwayne Haskins, all the talk about Josh Rosen, all the talk about Daniel Jones and Drew Lock and whoever the hell else you want to mention for the New York Giants, it's obvious they're not looking quarterback this year if they're looking to extend Eli Manning into 2020. Now, I don't really know what they see in Eli Manning that I'm not seeing. I know there's Eli Manning fans out there to love him. I get it. I understand that. I understand that there are some Giants fans out there that are just player people, and no matter what, they'll defend him tooth and nail no matter what. I ain't that guy. I have my favorites on the Giants. There's a lot of guys that I really liked, but if push comes to shove and I don't think they're getting it done and I think it's time to get them out of here, it's time to get out of here. You can say that about Odell Beckham. I loved watching Odell Beckham play, man. People didn't think I liked Odell Beckham. I did. I didn't like his antics, but I loved his talent, and I think he was one of the best receivers in the league. And I loved having him on the Giants. It was nice to have that explosive wide receiver out there that could take it the distance anytime. But you know what? He wasn't helping the team win. We moved on from him. And I have to deal with it as other Giants fans had to deal with it. But we have to do what's best for the team. And honestly, it looks like the Giants feel like Eli Manning is best for the team. Now, do you guys agree that Eli Manning is best for this team, or do you think that it's time to move on from him? Me personally, I thought it was time to move on from him after 2017. Really, after 2016, to be honest with you. Although I did give him a reprieve in 2017 because everybody was hurt. But last year, I started to see the writing on the wall that I believed it was time to move on from Eli Manning. I can't believe they would really consider extending this guy into 2020. I guess we'll have to wait and see what he does this year. I mean, obviously, he's coming back. He will start this year, but I think you have to start. You got to get a young quarterback in here at some time, okay? Eli Manning's not Tom Brady. He's not Drew Brees. He's not still playing at the level he did 5 years ago like those other two quarterbacks are. He's not playing at the level Phillip Rivers is. He's not playing at the level that a lot of good quarterbacks are. I don't care what you say. I don't care what his statistics look like. I watch the games. I know statistics can be skewed. I say this all the time. I say it constantly. Statistics are for fantasy football and losers because statistics only matter in fantasy football. You get them cheap. You love when your quarterback is down like 28-7 or 31-7 in the fourth quarter because you know all they're going to do is throw. Then maybe they get a couple of cheap touchdowns and you get really good points and you win that game. And it don't matter what the final score is because you got your statistics. And that's what happens when the team loses. They can look at it and go, whoa, look at his stats though, man. He's got good stats. It ain't his fault. And look at Eli Manning. He had great stats last year. Well, most of those stats happened when we were way behind and defenses played soft and weren't pressing anymore. And he was allowed to go down the field and they played off. They weren't playing press coverage. They weren't blitzing. They weren't doing anything. They were playing prevent, letting them take the time off the clock, letting them score. So if you actually watch the games, you can see that most of his stats were padded, especially in the first half at the end of the game. Now, the second half, he played a little bit better. He did. I'm not going to deny that. The offensive line got better. He got better. And listen, I believe that we can win games with Eli Manning, but I don't want him here in 2020. I mean, this should be the last year of Eli Manning. This should be it. This should be a swan song. This should be goodbye. This should be do the best you can. Let's get in the playoffs. Let's see what can be done, and we should move on. This should not be, well, Eli Manning's going to have another year in 2020 to see what he can do. I don't really understand the move. I don't understand what they're talking about. Now, granted, we don't know. Dave Gettleman is all over the place. This could be a complete smokescreen. Just again, I think, I really think the Giants are going defense. I really don't think they're going quarterback. But all this stuff about the Dwayne Haskins stuff, perhaps the Giants really do want Dwayne Haskins, and this is just a smokescreen to let to deter other teams from trading up in front of the Giants, like the Bengals, like the Dolphins, to come up there and get a Dwayne Haskins in front, saying they're going to extend Eli Manning into 2020, meaning to other teams, well, if the Giants are going to extend Eli Manning, they're definitely not taking a quarterback in this year's draft, so we're not going to bother trading up in front of them. It's all lying at this point, but that does concern me, if that's true, because the one thing that I do believe is true is this team, the ownership, the GM, they just don't know how to part ties with Eli Manning. They just will not let him go, man. They just can't get away from him. So it worries me that he would come back in 2020. I just don't want at that point, he'll be going on 39 years old, and I don't want a 39-year-old quarterback there with a bunch of young players, which is what we're going to have on the offensive line, which is what we're going to have on the defensive line, which is what we're going to have in backfield. I want a quarterback with a young arm. I want a quarterback that can move around in the pocket a little bit better, and I just want some new life at that position. People can get mad at me. They can say, oh, Eli Manning hater. They can say whatever they want. Eli Manning's one of my top 5 favorite Giants of all time. I love the guy to death, but I am ready to move on from him, man. Lawrence Taylor was my favorite player of all time. I say it all the time. I had to watch him retire. I watched Odell Beckham get traded. I watched Mark Bavaro get traded. I watched a lot of Giants walk away, man. A lot of them. Strahan retired. Tuck, I'd watch him go to the Raiders. I watched Osi Umenyiora retire. I watched Jesse Armstead retire. I watched a lot of great Giants leave this team. And one thing that's always stayed true, no matter who wears this damn uniform, is I root for the uniform. I don't root for the guy. I don't root for the name on the back. I root for the name on the front. I root for the name on the helmet. This. I root for this. I am this guy, a Giants guy, not a player guy. And as much as I love Eli Manning, I don't believe that he gives us the best chance to win in 2020. This year, maybe he does, okay? But if we are going to do this, you get a new quarterback in here, you draft one this year, you trade for Josh Rosen, or next year you bring in a Marcus Mariota, which I've heard about. Obviously, Russell Wilson is a pipe dream. We got about this much chance of him coming in here, but the Giants can do it that way as well. I would prefer, if you're going to, instead of signing a quarterback to massive money, get a young quarterback in here, and I'll deal with it, whatever it is. If it's Dwayne Haskins, I'm not a huge Dwayne Haskins guy, but I'll deal with it. Get Josh Rosen here. I think that's best case scenario for the Giants. Trade a second and a third round pick for Josh Rosen. Keep 2 first-round picks. Go defense, both picks, or go defense, at 6 with Devin White or Montez Sweat, even though I worry about the heart condition with Montez Sweat, but go there, and then go Cody Ford at 17, maybe Cleveland Farrell at 17, maybe Ed Oliver at 17. I mean, who knows? But that's would be best case scenario for the Giants, is to make a trade and get Josh Rosen here. The Eli Manning situation, that worries me a little bit. I don't want him here in 2020. I'll put up with him in 2019. I understand why they brought him back this year, but to say that they wouldn't hesitate to extend him into 2020, that one is mind-boggling to me. And I really hope it's just a smokescreen. I don't want Eli Manning here in 2020. I just don't. I want a young quarterback. It's time for a young quarterback to quarterback the New York Giants. It's just time. So let me know what you guys think, man. You want Eli Manning here in 2020? You think that's the best option for the Giants quarterback? Or do you think it's time to move on and get us a new quarterback to play there in 2020? Let me know what you think. And like I said, I'll do a video on the Yankees tomorrow. I also probably got a video coming about the draft, or no, I'm sorry, not the draft, Pro Day and the Combine. They're overrated. I'm going to do a video on that, and I hope to see you guys tomorrow. I don't know what my streaming schedule is. I'm probably going to do the Yankees on Tuesday night. I think I'm going to do the Yankee game on Tuesday night. I wasn't able to finish it today, but I'm going to do the Yankees on Tuesday night, most likely. So I hope to see you then, and check out the videos tomorrow. It's Bad Dog, and I am out. Y'all have a good night. I'm getting some sleep. Peace!